Hey guys, it's me again, and I'm going to review this book, Creating Australia, edited by Hudson and Geoffrey Bolton. I bought this book at Lenco Library when I lived and worked in Australia quite a long time ago. All multiple identities are seen as equal, when in fact some are more equal than others. For sure, life isn't fair. Australian in 1800 still meant Aborigine. By 1900, they had successfully shifted the word to mean white residents in such a way as to exclude the original Australians. Yes, when you think of Australian or Aussie, you would straight away think of the white residents, because I think most people around the world didn't know that Australian itself originally belonged to Aboriginal people. Even for me, before I came to Australia, I didn't know that the Aboriginal is the true owner of Australia. I didn't know. Marriage was a passport to freedom. Does it sound weird? Yes. Let me explain it to you. Marriage was a passport to freedom applied on convict women. Or even slaves. When a man comes and if he wants to marry a convict woman, then she would be free. If we can walk through our grief, then we have a good chance of healing the wounds of separation and beginning on the road to recovery. I totally agree. I think grieving is a process when someone is trying to heal. If you somehow skip the grieving stage, I think you aren't completely healed inside out. You might think that you are healed, but deep down it's not, because grieving is so important. It makes you realize and totally understand the pain inside of you. And I will come back to a book about grieving later on. The book called The Little Paris Bookshop. Very well known book. Yeah, you probably have heard of it, but I'm not going to review it today. It is not possible for anyone to love you unless you do something or something worth loving. You can't find happiness without first making rules to stamp out the things that make unhappiness. You can't find value in yourself until you build it by respecting yourself through living right. If you tolerate crumminess, gutlessness, meanness, wife bashing, kid bashing, and neglect, then you never get the strength to climb out of hell. Do you understand what it means? Let me give you an example. If someone disrespects you by saying that you're a fool, and you don't even you don't even tell them that, hey, I know I'm a fool, but you don't need to tell me that. You don't show them that it's not okay to say so. They'll keep doing it again and again. And if you don't tell people that the certain actions that they do hurt you or shows disrespect towards you, they would never know. So you need to say to someone if the things that they are doing are not okay, you need to tell them. Alright, that is just one of the many meanings of this quote. So if you want to find happiness, you must first define what brings you unhappiness and stay away from that. I think like an Australian, I feel that my heart is Chinese. My soul is a blend of both, but often my heart rules my head. Is it true? Often the heart rules the head. Yeah, you know what is funny? People say, hey, you should follow your heart. But the funny thing is, when people die, the heart is the first organ to stop working, and the brain is the last organ to stop working. So the brain is trying all its best to save your life, but the heart is the first to give up. It's quite funny, hey? Poverty has always been awful, anxious, painful, relentless. Poor people die earlier than rich people. They lose more of their children to disease. They get sicker, and for longer, they even enjoy less opportunity for carefree and private sex. They have forgotten how oppressive it is to have everyone know everything about you and poking their noses into everything you do. There is very little to do when you are poor. You cannot afford to go out. You necessarily find your entertainment and interest in life in the activities and fortunes of others, sometimes at their expense. Yeah, I found it so funny that I have some acquaintances. I don't know if they don't have money or they don't want to use their money, but they always expect a richer person to pay the bills. Yeah, like when they go out for a drink or for a meal, the poor people would expect the rich people to pay for the whole thing. What's funny? If someone's rich, that doesn't mean that they have the responsibility to cover everything, even for the poor. It's not their responsibility. It's their right. Okay? So, yeah, I just feel it's unfair for the rich people sometimes. One of the most important transformations of private life this century has been the rise of solitariness. More people of all classes and natures live alone than ever before. As people have become better off, they have sought more privacy and solitude. They prefer that loneliness to living with someone who is not right for them. Just anyone will not do. That's totally true. Without an independent income, women were forced into sex slavery of one kind or another. A man cannot work if he has not someone to look after him. The higher wage paid to men included a sorted payment for her domestic services. The enormous amount spent on amusements, liquor and drink. This spending was directly at the expense of women and children who were refused an income of their own. The basic wage had to be fixed for individual, irrespective of sex and of social responsibility. Lack of an independent income reduced women to the condition of sex slaves, mere outlets for the sexual impulsive and alleged needs of men. Law not just met in the legislature and the courtrooms, but also in the streets, the markets, out in the bush, wherever people act on an assumption that they have a right to do what they do. In Australia, Greeks and Turks live in peace with each other while continuing to rid discourses of hatred for each other from their countries of origin. Well, not in Cyprus, I suppose. Alright, that's all I have in this book, Creating Australia. I cannot rate it on Goodreads because I cannot find it on the app. Some quotes are from the other book that the author, that the editors quoted back in the book. Alright. Well, that's it. I think it's some high quality quotes that I find in this book. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video.